everybody, this is Avi from AuntieAvis.com, and today I'm going to talk to you about what to do with those leftovers. We're going to make little trinkets. On AuntieAvis.com, you can find a recipe, a more sweeter recipe for baklava trinkets, but you can virtually do this with anything you have left over in the fridge. So I thought, what better idea than to show you what I do and how I make these trinkets. Um, Here are some leftovers I had, a side dish. Actually, I had two side dishes I combined together. I had a side dish of potatoes, I had diced potatoes, sort of a morning sort of savory potato dish. And then I had some leftover vegetables that I sauteed with some onions. What I did is I combined those together, mixed them up real good, and added some black cumin to it to add a little bit of an earthy flavor. And we're going to use those as filling for the savory trinkets. What you're also going to need is some phyllo dough. Now, I like this particular brand, and I always get the number 5 phyllo dough. It's not too thin. It doesn't dry up as quickly, and so I love this phyllo dough. So I get this phyllo dough. I always have it in my freezer. Rule of thumb, you don't want to take your phyllo dough out of the freezer before you're ready to use it. If you do, it's going to break open. When I put the recipe for my baklava trinkets, here is the leftover filling for the baklava trinkets. We're going to do those today as well. When I set the recipe up on AuntieAvis.com, I got a lot of emails about what to do if your phyllo dough breaks or rips. So I'm going to actually use ripped phyllo dough today to show you exactly what I do. What you're also going to need is butter. I suggest getting grass-fed cow butter. You can find a link on AuntieAvis.com to go ahead and order that for yourself. It's better than regular butter. You need a basting brush. You're going to melt your butter and use the basting brush to brush some butter on the phyllo sheets. You're going to need the phyllo sheets, and you're also going to need a wet towel. You want it to be damp, not really soaking wet. Also, you're going to need a mini muffin tray. I like the mini muffin trays. They hold the trinkets together, and they make sure that when the trinkets are cooking, they don't break apart and break open. So let's get started. So what I did is I laid out my phyllo dough as so, just in the layer it came in. As you can see, it's not the entire sheet, it's just the broken portion of it. And I put my damp towel on it. What we're going to first do is take a sheet of the phyllo dough. Like I said, these are going to be slightly shattered or ripped. I want to show you that you can do this with even the ripped phyllo dough sheets. So you're going to lay it down on your surface like so. And as you can see, they are slightly ripped. So that's okay. When you layer your phyllo dough with and brush it with butter, each layer is going to create a kind of like slab this big. And when you create that slab, it'll hold everything together, and those rips and tears will be non-existent anymore. What you're gonna do, like I said, cover it back up with the damp towel. What you're going to do next is take your butter. I just warmed up some butter in here, melted it. A lot of people ask me if they can use ghee. I wouldn't suggest using ghee. It has an aftertaste when you use it. So I would suggest using butter. If you are vegan and you do not use dairy products at all, I would suggest getting sticks of vegan butter. All vegan butter actually is oil, all different types of oil. It's not healthier for you or anything like that, but it's not from any animal byproducts, so that's a reason why a lot of vegans choose to use that option. Now, you can melt a little bit of vegan butter and also use it in this, okay? So we did one sheet. I suggest doing 4 sheets. Again, like so. Take your phyllo dough sheets. They're very, very thin. Some people say they're paper thin. I think they're even thinner than regular one-ply tissue. So, be careful with them. As you can see, this sheet is really tattered on the edges. Go ahead and line it up as best as you can. and go ahead and brush some butter on it. If all your sheets are tattered, like in the emails that I received, um, go ahead and use one more layer. I suggest 3 to 4 layers. If all the sheets are really, really significantly tattered, then go ahead and do 5 layers of the phyllo. You don't need that much butter on this at all. Some recipes say to go generous on the butter. I don't. I just usually just dip it one time in my melted butter and go ahead and do this. So once you get the hang of it, it gets, you're able to do this really quickly. Now, you remember I put the tattered portion on this side? So what I'm going to do is put the tattered portion on this side now to kind of balance it out. My daughter, she sometimes helps me with this. It's really hard for her to do the, the buttering portion that I'm doing here. It's really difficult for her. So what I do is I let her help me do the trinkets, which I'll show you in just a moment. So that was the 3rd layer. Now let's do the 4th layer real quick. And we're going to be good to go. Another email that I received about the baklava trinkets was about how there's little bubbles or gaps in the baklava when they're putting butter on it. That's okay. It makes it crunchy. It makes it flaky, just like baklava or trinkets should be. Anytime you use phyllo dough, you may have. Now you're going to take your knife and cut it into even portions. I'm going to actually cut it into little rectangles. Probably 4 little rectangles would be sufficient here. And I'm going to try to do 2 savory and 2 sweet trinkets for you. This is my mini muffin tin, okay? Take your knife and you go under, put it flat, go under your little rectangle you cut, and go ahead and pick up the layer of phyllo dough that you made. The top side is going to be buttery, and the other side is going to be plain. You want to put it on your muffin tin, the plain side down. And then all you have to do is push the center in. We're going to make a savory one first. You push the center in like so. You put your filling in. And like I said, it could be any filling. I one time had leftover chili relleno, the stuffed bell pepper or whatnot, with some Mexican cheese in it. Oh my God, it was so good. But I had some left over, and I kind of got chili rellenoed out by the end of the week. So what I did is I made some trinkets, and I diced the chili relleno, the whole thing, into itty bitty pieces. So it just became like bell pepper, stuffed pepper with some soy ground beef and such in it. And when I made the trinkets with that, oh my goodness, when you ate and you bit into that trinket, it was divine. So as you can see, all you're doing is you're pressing the center in and folding it over. Once you do, place it in there, and now you have one little mini trinket. I'm going to show you this one a little close up so you can see what I'm. Put it on there, push it in, drop some filling into it. And all you're going to do, I usually don't do this outside the muffin tin because it doesn't make the right size, I believe. All you're going to do is you take your finger, put it on the corner, fold it like this. You take your finger, put it on the corner, fold it like so. You got 2 little ears. Let me shut this off. Okay, you got 2 little ears here. And then you take your finger, close it, and the center portion, you just want to push it together. Like I said, when you put it in your muffin tin, it's way easier. I have my oven set to 350. only because the little ears that we create end up browning up really, really quick. So I put it on 350, and then I put it in the oven. The muffin tray is full, then I'll put it into the oven on 350 for about 12 minutes. If it's just like 4 or 5 of them in the middle, then what I'll do is I'll put it in the oven for just about 7 minutes. Now what we're going to do is do the sweeter version, the baklava one. Again, the recipe for the filling is on auntiavis.com. It's really yummy. It's my take on baklava. It has a little bit of a different flavor to it. Instead of all the sugar and all that honey that's in there, sometimes I tend to use agave nectar instead, and also stevia instead of the sugar. And that's number 4. Just got a little savory guy. And the last baby. Now this one's kind of big, so what I'm going to do is cut it in half. And we'll have just one more little morsel that's savory. Again, push it down to the middle. Fill it up. And it tastes really good. It feels cakey, almost like pie. This guy's beautiful. Check him out. Super cute. Yes, I talk to my food. It's like my little baby. I think the more love I give to my food, the better it ends up tasting. What were we going to do with this last one? Make it a savory little guy? All right, here you go, little guy. It's tiny. Pinch to the middle, push it closed, bend the ears, and here goes. So now we have 3 little savory ones and 2 delicious, sinfully good little itty bitty bites. Here are my baklava sachets. I usually drizzle a little bit of melted raw honey on it. The reason I use organic raw honey, I got this from Whole Foods, is because it has a more floral flavor to it. It just adds a different layer, a different dimension to it. So all I do is I take my spoon, take some honey, and drizzle it. Now again, you can use agave nectar too on here. But I feel like I've been really healthy and good today, so, or actually this week rather. So I'm just going to go ahead and layer some of this honey on it. There we go. Yum. And then with these, you can put anything on it. My son and daughter like ketchup on it like any child does. I like chutney on it or pesto on it, depending on what the filling is. Anything you have in the fridge, you can make these with. Let's try this. Let's see how good it is. Mmm, it is so delicious. Do you see it? It's like a mini chicken pot pie. Vegetarian, of course. I could talk to you forever. Please check out auntiavis.com for some additional recipes on these trinkets and use whatever you have in the fridge as your leftover trinket recipe. And please post some photos on Auntie Avi's Facebook page or on Auntie Avi's blog. Until next time, I'm Avi, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend.